Yasiel Puig reaches out to TMZ and asks them to tell the Dodgers, "Psst, call me." The most betrayed quarterback playing today is Justin Herbert. And yes, also, the Rams played the Chargers, but not really. Hi, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. It is August 14th, 2022. I'm in a tremendous mood. How could you not be in a tremendous mood? All LA teams won yesterday. It is a gorgeous day out. I am back home with my gorgeous wife. It's a beautiful thing. If you like the content that we've been putting out about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And yes, comment. Because let's keep the good times rolling. The Dodgers ran off to their 12th consecutive win. These games aren't even close, by the way. None of them were by one run, so they were never under any real pressure. 6 different Dodgers hit home runs last night. Dodgers 11, Royals 3. This is their longest winning streak since 1976, back when I had a future. It's incredible. Their lead in the NL West is extended to 17 games. This is the stuff people were talking about what the Dodgers could do in the preseason. And oh, by the way, in MLS, Samuel Grandsir, 2 goals, Chicharito adds a penalty, Galaxy 5, Vancouver 2. With that win, the Galaxy lift themselves back into MLS Cup playoff picture. They're in 6th in the Western Conference with 33 points. And of course, LAFC looked at that and said, hold my beer. 5-0 victory over Charlotte. Pretty much everybody scored except Gareth Bale. Bro, why are you slacking? Just kidding. They lead the Western Conference with 54 points. Meanwhile, today, Dodgers wrap up the series at Kansas City at 11 a.m. Tyler Anderson, he's 13-1. Brady Singer, 5-4. Dallas will play the Sparks at 6 p.m. in a WNBA game where we're just like, why bother? Spark season is toast. You could have played that at 6 in the morning. We still don't care. Yesterday, we took a lovely large bite out of the delicious failure cake that the Padres have baked for themselves this year, right? I mean, you got Fernando Knievel. He's already got a broken wrist with that motorcycle crash, gets suspended 60 more games for taking illegal substances. And by the way, as a side note, I totally love the fact that he is blaming taking this substance on tapeworm. I'd rather just confess I wanted to have bigger muscles, right? I mean, if you're going to embarrass yourself by taking steroids, yeah, ladies, but you got to understand, ladies, I have parasites. That just drops everything to a whole new low, dude. You need to work on your excuses. But I bring that up because, you see, San Diego, over time, my team had to learn, too. They had to learn the hard way about hiring and promoting immature sluggers, immature young sluggers. If you listen closely, you can hear Yasiel Puig's voice all the way over in Korea. He's in Korea now, faintly begging for a comeback with the Dodgers. Now, I don't want to talk too much crap about the guy. I've seen him up close. He is so strong, it's bloody frightening. But he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. He does not need to come back with the Dodgers. And even worse, to play outfield for the Dodgers, I'm bringing up Yasiel Puig for a reason. Yasiel Puig is illustrative of how powerful the Dodgers are now. Because he could be hitting 1,000 over in Korea, and he's still not going to get a sniff. And that's reality. Here's why. To play outfield for the Dodgers, you don't just play outfield, you play multiple positions. Yasiel Puig does not play multiple positions. You take Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts, arguably the second best player in baseball, also plays second base. Cody Bellinger in center, also plays first base. Left fielder Chris Taylor could play anywhere in the outfield, anywhere in the infield, right? You recall Edwin Rios? Edwin Rios. He was playing with the big club earlier this year. He got injured in June. He's healthy now. Where do you put Ed? He had the second most home runs on the Dodgers. Where do you put him on the roster now? Where? Do you see where I'm going? Gavin Lux, pushing 300, plays outfield, plays infield. So, if Yasiel Puig makes it back to the majors, bully for him. But he's not making it with the Dodgers. Where do you put him? You'd never consider Yasiel Puig again. And the fact that he rubbed all of his teammates the wrong way when he was here the last time, that's not a selling point. Here's a weird little note. Dave Roberts is known for having a quick hook with all of his other pitchers, but not necessarily Tony Gonsolin, who goes into the seventh, who goes into the eighth. He's already pitched more innings than he ever had before in his career, and Dave Roberts is perfectly fine with it. Quote, Tony has blinders on right now. He knows this is uncharted territory, but he's doing everything he can to stay strong. I never saw that coming out of Dave Roberts' mouth. Did you? So last night over at SoFi, you got the Rams, you got the Chargers, and I want to congratulate all the sports writers of Los Angeles for not writing the words, "This was for bragging rights." Totally appreciate it. Because the writers, in a rare spate of intelligence, realized that for both teams, bragging rights did not matter in this game. Not in the slightest. Nobody cared on either team. They have way higher aspirations than bragging rights over an exhibition game. If both of them sucked, if either one of them were just moderately okay, then they would use that cliche. Both of them were looking at the Super Bowl. And all the writers treated it as such. Now for me, the Rams win 29-22, and none of us are going to remember it. So what I want to do, remember, both teams didn't play a lot of players. So what I want to do is I want to try and give you some of the notes that I think matter in the bigger picture when the season eventually starts. I'll start off with your defending champs. Wide receiver Tutu Atwell didn't play. Now, I mentioned earlier this week that I thought he would get a lot of playing time because I want to see how much progress he's made in the offseason. The fact that he didn't play already validates that he's made significant progress and that he's going to have a role with the team. Coach Sean McVay said as much. So it's a really good sign that Tutu Atwell actually didn't play. Nose tackle Bobby Brown got hurt. Now, he's in the running to try to be the fourth defensive lineman, so they pulled Bobby Brown because they didn't want to be cruel, and he wouldn't even be that cruel to them. But seriously, folks. Top draft pick for the Rams, third round, by the way. Right guard rookie Logan Bruss played the entire first half. That doesn't necessarily mean he's on first team. The Rams' offensive line is pretty much set. With the exception of right guard, but there's Coleman Shelton apparently might have the job. It's not etched in stone. It appears he has the job. Quarterback Bryce Perkins played the entire game, but he's the third string guy. Are you starting to get the idea that when we're talking about the Rams in preseason that we're nitpicking little things here? For so many people didn't play. The Chargers actually had a lot more stuff to talk about, even including before the game. You see, prior to the exhibition opener, quarterback Justin Herbert, he described rookie right guard Zion Johnson, who is the starter on the Chargers line, as, quote, already a total pro. Does everything right, shows up and works. Very smart, too. So he's happy with the progress from the rookie because, after all, that's one of the guys who's going to keep... who's going to wind up keeping Herbert from landing on his back. And that's important. It is important. I don't know necessarily what to make of what I'm about to tell you. You see, sometimes statistics, they get spun, they get twisted so much that it's actually hard to actually recognize what the hell you're reading. But The Athletic, I tend to give them credit for at least thinking outside the box. They created something called the Betrayal Index for quarterbacks. Yeah, the idea of what quarterback, we all know about Tom Brady, but Tom Brady happens to get helped out a lot by his defense, right? And he's had a decent offensive line through his career. What if he had a crappy offensive line? What if he had a below average defense? Where would he rank? And so The Athletic said if we added who has the crappy defense, who has a below average offensive line, who is most betrayed? They took 54 quarterbacks who started at least 30 games in the last 10 years. The most betrayed quarterback in the last 10 years doesn't play anymore. That's Drew Brees, a former Chargers quarterback, I might add. The third most betrayed quarterback, by the way, was Tony Romo, who's in the broadcast booth because of betrayal. But the number one current playing quarterback, most betrayed by his defense, by his teammates, is Justin Herbert. Now, they went through all these sort of analytics to come up with that conclusion. If you don't believe it, you tell me why. I'm not saying this is a fact. I just found it interesting. But the Chargers didn't really have a good defense at all last year. Otherwise, they would have been in the playoffs. So how much has Justin Herbert been, quote unquote, betrayed? And by the way, if you're wondering, if you're a Rams fan, Matthew Stafford is number 10 on the most betrayed list. Let's be real, that's for a lot of years in Detroit. As for the game itself, the Chargers mentioned Zion Johnson a moment ago. He played 3 series. We also know about the battle at right tackle. Trey Pipkins started over Storm Norton. Read into that what you will. And running back Josh Kelly started on the opening drive in the battle to become Austin Eckler's backup. The Chargers did score on that drive, but Isaiah Stiller, he had more touches in the game. Kelly, he had an issue with keeping control of the ball. He didn't fumble. Read all of that what you will. Make of it what you will. Sophomore DJ Justice. David Justice's son, if you follow a lot of Major League Baseball, the former slugger for the Braves. Anyway, DJ Justice has switched from wide receiver to defensive back for UCLA. The Bruins don't know yet if he'll be a corner or a safety. He requested the change. He played defensive back in high school. He picked off 5 passes. The reason that Justice has requested the change, even though he would probably be a decent receiver at 6 foot tall, is because he wants the playing time now. The Bruins value versatility, and they're pretty much set at wide receiver right now. And he's a sophomore. He wants to get on the field. Doesn't want to waste his time. Meanwhile, over at USC, tight end Jude Wolfe needs surgery on his foot. They hope he will be back in time for the second half of the season. He caught only 8 passes last year, but he was going to get more playing time this year as an H-back. So it's a little bit of a ding for the Trojans. Pete Fiutak of College Football News says the key for USC will be the pass rush. The Trojans, and he just ran numbers, the Trojans, they averaged only 1.75 sacks per game, which is their lowest in the last 10 years. 16 of the 21 sacks that USC generated last year came in just 4 games. So in other words, that was 5 sacks for the entire rest of the year. My problem with what he wrote is, did he project a breakout player or something schematically different that might improve USC's chances? No. So thanks for running the numbers, bro. Preach. But I will say that that coach Lincoln Riley told the LA Times that the defense has been dominant in the early part of the camp, if you choose to believe that, okay? They are looking for a number 2 cornerback after Mekhi Blackman. There are 4 people in the mix. Aside from that, well, hell, If you enjoyed today's broadcast, don't forget to like and subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We are trying to build something for LA sports. I'm James. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Quien Corte El Queso production. Take care.